Welcome to the Burning River Sportscast. I'm Kenny Thunder, along with my partner in crime, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Your home for Cleveland Browns football and all things Cleveland sports. Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside Red Hot Ronnie Jams, covering our Week 1 victory here with the Cleveland Browns. Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside Red Hot Ronnie Jams.
Thanks, Kenny. Let's go ahead and tell them where they can find the podcast in case they didn't already find the podcast and listen to it, which they should be now.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside my co-host and former lead singer of Imagine Dragons, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. We have a jam-packed show for you here today. Ronnie, tell our friends where they can find us.
First of all, I never was in Imagine Dragons, but I'll accept it.
That wasn't you?
No, that wasn't me. Oh. But you had to dump so bad he couldn't walk.
Why are there so many dongs?
Burning River.
Burning River. Burning River Podcast. Welcome to the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tap-In Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside my cohort and former Intercontinental Champion, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, do you know where I can find this podcast?
You can find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And by that...
And like Myles Garrett driving a Porsche, everything cool I just said about the Guardians, the Browns went and wrecked. And we break it all down for you next on the Burning River Sportscast.
Speaking of the Yankees, F the Yankees. Hashtag Fire Joe Woods trending on Twitter.
Wow, they're bad.
Did you see the video of the trainer giving the Giants wide receiver a massage on the sideline?
Like pants down?
Oh, yeah, that thing went viral. And this just in, Deshaun Watson has demanded a trade to the New York Giants, effective immediately.
Welcome to the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tap-In Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside the original Soggy Bottom Boy, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, where can our friends find the podcast?
They can find the podcast wherever they get their podcasts. Let's start with Joe Woods. Our defense is trash.
Let's end with Joe Woods.
Yeah. Let's end it with Joe Woods. He's officially in the trash bin. Fire Joe Woods, trending again on social media. It's trending here. It's always going to be trending here. Fire Joe Woods. F that guy.
Welcome to the first ever Burning River Sportscast remote pod, presented by Tap-In Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, reporting from beautiful Gulf Shores, Alabama, with my partner and lifelong Pog collector, Red Hot Ronnie Jams, in the sound studio back home. Ronnie, where can our listeners find the goods?
Oh, they can find the podcast wherever they get their podcast, Kenny.
And I ride with him and Jeff Bezos all the way to the moon, then I'll be on the moon.
Big penis rocket.
Why are there so many dongs? Welcome to the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tap-In Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside my colleague, the man who wrote the original score to the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, tell our friends where they can find the most delectable sweets curated by the fine folks at Tap-In Media.
You can find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. That's it for the AFC North. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, now it's your turn. How do you like it? You can't talk either.
That's it for the...
Mr. Jams.
Yes, sir.
How does it feel?
It feels bad.
You like that? No. You want some of that? You like that?
You're really making me feel bad,
You like
man.
that?
Stop it.
Welcome to the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tap-In Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside the first man to summit Mount St. Helens wearing only a shower cap, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, and where can our audience find all the content coming from the fine folks at Tap-In Media?
You can find our podcast wherever you get your podcast, Kenny. Do you want to know where that is?
I do want to know. Once you lose Shailene Woodley,
here we go with this again.
You never win again.
You should never feel bad about cannibalism. Trade deadline's passed, bro.
Well, they should both retire and do the spit and swap.
I don't think that's what you think it is.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast presented by Tappan Media. I'm Kenny Thunder alongside the world record holder for the largest kidney stone ever passed, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, give the people what they want and tell them where they can find the hottie, sticky, steamy, creamy, dreamy, and memey all new content every day from Tappan Media.
Oh, you want to know?
I want to know.
All right.
You
can find our podcast. Well, you can find us on social media. You asked for everything, but you can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Without further delay, here is Kenny Thunder with your State of the Cleveland Browns address.
That's me.
Madam Speaker, Kenny Stefanik, not head coach of the Cleveland Browns.
Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President, Jimmy, D, Andrew, that D Podesta fella with all the numbers.
Jeff Saturday could figure this out.
Gosh, Stefanski's such an idiot!
Welcome to the Burning River Sportscast presented by Tappan Media. I'm Kenny Thunder alongside the world's foremost Owen Wilson impersonator, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, tell our friends and I where we can find the goods.
Wow. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you. So before we get into the Week 10 recap, I'm just going to go ahead and do this real quick. Just bear with me for a second here.
Bearing.
Describe to our listeners what's happening.
We have the right to bear arms. Well, let's see. Ronnie is undressing.
I am not. I'm just taking my hat off.
He's removed his Miami Vice hat, and he's making a book cover out of. He's got a brown paper bag on his head.
I think I'm going to do the show like this.
Out of all the dumb shit you've ever done, this has to be the dumbest.
Let me adjust my bag and we could keep going here. You want one? I brought an extra one for you.
Is this is what this has devolved into now? What's this do for you?
Nothing.
What's this?
The old microphone hit. The most devastating move in all of wrestling. All right.
We're just wearing brown paper bags.
All right, so this is what the season has devolved into.
Save the more graphic search for your incognito tab. You know, as a parent on prom night, that's the one thing you gotta be concerned about is penetration. Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast presented by Tappan Media. I'm Kenny Thunder alongside, well, no one, because Red Hot Ronnie Jams is on paternity leave after giving birth to his first offspring. I just hope he saved some placenta for me.
Also a concussion.
Got banged on the dome.
Got his dome rocked.
Got his dome rocked.
I don't think that's the same thing.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast. I'm Kenny Thunder alongside the man who originally coined the term retrograde peristalsis after a 6th place finish in the Cranberry, Pennsylvania Philly cheesesteak eating contest. Ohio's newest baby daddy, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, we missed you last week, and I forgot where I can find the podcast.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you where you can find the podcast just to get us started here. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcast. He went from off the leash to off the team real fast.
Look, I don't know what the explanation is. What I can tell you is that religion is officially more dangerous than porn.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out.
We will see how it shakes out. I'm going to shake it all over you. Wow.
Well, I guess we'll just wrap it up. That's the end of the show. Everybody have a nice night.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast. I'm Kenny Thunder alongside 12-time winner of the Presidential Physical Fitness Award, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, can you still crush the sit and reach?
Oh, yeah. Natural born athlete, baby.
There you go.
Do you want to know where to find the podcast? Because I don't think you even asked me this time.
No, I figured you would just run through it, you know.
Oh, I'll
keep it
let
flowing.
you know. You can find our podcast wherever you get the podcast.
It's time for the Burning River Sportscast. Cue the funeral procession.
dear beloved, we gather here to say our goodbyes. Here she lies, we had to see it through the late great season of 22. On these nights we used to celebrate with you. In that little town of Cleveland, we raise our glass, you beat our ass to La Joe Burrow.
Swing low, sweet Stefanski, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet Stefanski, coming for to carry me home.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Rest easy, Cleveland. R.I.P. In the name of Graham, Sipe, and Kozar. Amen.
Amen.
All but eliminated from the playoffs. Where do we go from here? We'll break it down for you next on the Burning River Sportscast. I like to take pictures of hot girls on the beach. That doesn't make me a photographer.
You heard it here first. Well, you won't hear it till Thursday, so you heard it somewhere else first.
Ingvar Kampard Elmtard Agunyard.
That sounds explicit.
Oh, honey, take a picture. Oh, I'm dead.
Hang gliding accident. What an idiot.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tapin Media, unofficially the #1 international Browns podcast, as we've now been downloaded on 3 separate continents. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside the only man ever to cure himself of tertiary syphilis and beat Method Man in a game of Pictionary at the same time. His pronouns are kick and ass, the one and only Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, where can our friends find the podcast?
Man, I'm the most interesting man alive, I have to say. They can find our podcast wherever they get their podcast. Spotify. Kevin Stefanski is such a spice bag.
And when in doubt, break the shocker out.
It's ham all around.
Man,
Should we have ham tonight?
I wish I had something cool to say. I like the honey baked ham, but I don't like it. Has
My cool
to be
thing to say is I like ham.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tapin Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside the man who spent 72 days lost at sea with nothing but a Johnny Carson lunchbox and a zip bag full of Triscuits. The always cantankerous and sometimes pancakerous Red Hot Ronnie Jams.
Love pancakes.
And in the booth today, you'll find the largest marine mammal not found in the sea, Big Seal.
Big Seal, how you doing?
What up? What's good?
Ronnie, why don't you go ahead and remind our dear friends where they can find the sickest drip, not in an IV bag?
Well, first of all, I have to address something. I can hear you talking, Kenny, but I can't see you. So, where's that coming from?
I get it.
He's got a camo shirt on.
Good
dad joke.
Good joke.
I'm dad now. You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcast.
If I was born in Afghanistan, I'd be a Muslim, but I was born in Cleveland. I'm a Browns fan.
But yeah, I don't know. The Browns have pretty much given up on the season, so why don't we do the same?
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tapin Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside my agile and delightful colleague, the only person ever to circumnavigate the contiguous U.S. in a hot air balloon using only a sextant made of macaroni and cake batter for direction, the man who puts the Ronnie in erroneous, Red Hot Ronnie Jams.
Listen, for once, I can confidently tell you I did not do that because I am terrified of heights and I would never be caught dead in a hot air balloon.
That's okay.
But I did it anyways.
Where's the best place to find the most immature 8th grade phallic references, fart jokes, and innuendos inside of a Browns podcast?
You can find our podcast wherever you get your podcast. The juices are like assholes, and Kevin Stefanski's got a bunch of them.
He's got a big one.
That sentence didn't make any sense.
What if I do a whole show totally naked?
All right, I take it back. I'm not going to slander Kyrie Irving. He's got a lot more money than me. I've got a lot more to lose. Bonus fact, Kenny is a complete degenerate.
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tapin Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside Dolly Parton's former lover, the man who puts the IE in weenie, Red Hot Ronnie Jams.
Thanks, Kenny. I think.
Ronnie, let our friends know where they can find the podcast, but do it in your best Sean Connery voice.
You can find the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Kevin Stefanik. That's right. You don't even have your correct last name because you were so bad and ugly this year. Battery exhausted.
Oh my God! Who knew?
Welcome into the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tappan Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside the man once ranked top 10 in the world in both LARPing and spelunking, forever making gerunds his bitch, Red Hot Ronnie Jams. Ronnie, tell our friends where they can find our pod all year long, but do it in Morse code. We'll break it all down for you next on the Burning River Sportscast. So the first thing that would happen is you'd be totally vaporized.
This is one of those situations where all these old heads, the people that don't want the game to change at all, whatever, they want to sit in their seat, eat their Cracker Jacks.
But maybe Andrew Barry is King George.
Who knows?
What if Stefanik is just Prince Harry? I was going to do a funny thing with the bottle, but you turned it off.
I'll probably get a lot of shit for this. Baseball's not that exciting.
I think Taylor Hicks is still alive. Modernization isn't trying to offer craft beers to hipsters. It's
Calling me a hipster. We're starting to really check the things off. I got long hair. I'm wearing a beanie today. I drink craft beers.
You smell funny. You love to recycle.
Everybody should love to recycle, Kenny. This is the Burning River Sportscast, where we like to save rivers.
I like Bud Light.
Well, you're an idiot.
Welcome into the internationally renowned and fastest growing Cleveland Browns podcast in the world, the Burning River Sportscast, presented by Tappan Media. I'm Kenny Thunder, alongside the love child of Pontius Pilate and Jenny Lind, the gentleman who puts the on in gonorrhea, Red Hot Ronnie Jams.
Man, these get worse every week.
Ronnie, tell our friends where they can find the best NFL Beauty and the Beast mashups inside of a pod.
You can find our podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Castro, and so many more. Bro, you see, Robbie Knievel died this week?
Robbie Knievel was my first Daredevil crush.
All right. But seriously, he died of cancer.
Very sad news.
Yeah.
Not a fan of the way he went out.
No, how would you have done it?
I mean, I don't
think he really chose. He passed away.
Well, I mean, I think
R.I.P.
when you get to a certain point, you know the end is nigh.
Okay.
If I'm Robbie Knievel, I'm hopping on the bike one last time and just jumping straight over the Grand Canyon. Just going out like I came in a ball of flames.
It's not even a stunt. It's like the stunt. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he would be immortalized forever. They'd probably put a statue of him on his bike.
Regardless of if he made it or not.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you make it, great. You still get to die next week. But if you don't make it, that's what the world has been wanting.
Oh my God.
Tell him what he's won, Jim. A hospice bed.
Wow. You know, we are not that heartless here at the Burning River Sportscast. It was R.I.P.
R.I.P. Robbie. No, for real.
He was a
cool guy.
Pop culture icon for a while there, him and his father. So, and of an era, I guess, right? There's not really a lot of stuntmen lately. Travis Pastrana? He's the only one left.
Does Travis Pastrana count as a stuntman, though?
Seeing as there's so much science in theirs, and they're like, we know for sure we could do this. Evil Knievel and Robbie Knievel literally just went out there and they're like, I don't know, let's find out.
I think if I go fast enough, I can get over all them buses.
I broke every bone in my body.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I don't know, but end of an era for sure. So R.I.P.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
It was sad to see that news. It feels like we've lost a lot of celebrities already in 2023.
Who else?
I don't know. I'll bring that list next
I'm not real sure who we've lost, but it feels like a lot.
Tappan